That's actually the last 2 days. Yesterday and the day before, so not today. Today, we got some sunshine. Not only have we got sunshine, we also have a buzzing tree. Now, I can't see them very well because I was looking in the sun, but the tree is buzzing with honeybees. So, and they're all really busy, and I can't keep up with them. So, right. So, morning world. Welcome to Tuesday, 5th of March. So today, so far, nothing really exciting to sort of report. No more calves. We might be having a break in the calving now for a couple of weeks. So that was deliberate. I thought we had one more to drop of the older cows, but maybe she's just crossed her legs, or maybe she just didn't fancy the bull. So we still could have another calf from our older animals, but it might also be a couple of weeks before we get any more. These guys, nice clean bed this morning, that's all done. Next door's okay, they're still okay. I did them last night. So everything is quiet and peaceful and enjoying a bit of sunshine. So you and I, if you come with me, are off down, as the crow flies, about a mile and a bit that way, to deliver a load of wood chip. We've actually got 2 loads to go to a local mansion in fact, and then this afternoon, bit of mucking around, and then I'm having the second half of the afternoon off. Dad, as you know, is in hospital. My brother has been looking after him for the last 18 months. Oh, you're there. And he's not really had much time off, and both of us want to see second part of June. So he said to me yesterday, while Dad's away, I might not get the chance once he comes home, because it's like a 3-hour film. Do you fancy going to see you in June? I said, yeah, okay, I wouldn't mind doing that. So I'm going this afternoon. So if you're in Yates this afternoon, you might spot us at the Cineworld showcase, whatever it's called. Mr. Wilson, you smell a bit fishy. You got anything to tell me, or you eating something? No? Definitely a fishy odour around the place. Anyway, before I was interrupted on the phone, I was saying I'm off to the cinema this afternoon. I've not been for ages. Used to go with Samantha quite a lot, but she's so busy now with her training and the ambulance stuff together, she just hasn't got time. So my brother asked if I'd like to go to cinema this afternoon, and I said yes, I would. So bought the tickets, and we'll be there 4:20, which means today's upload for members I've got to do early. So if members wonder why it's early, although if you go into communities, I'll tell you in there why. That's why. It's because 4 o'clock I finished early today. Right, 1 load down, 1 to go. It's nearly midday. Oh no, don't have to get it from me. Oh, all right then. Well, if you insist. Look at that lot. Lie right in the middle, so anybody who wants to go to the top's got to go over them. Get the old Mustang fired up. So, thought I was going to have an issue yesterday. The brakes locked on. Only on the left-hand side. I've heard it rattling a couple of times over the last couple of days. It does this. Just now and again, you'll be driving and you can hear this faint little rattle, 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 rattle. It sounds like a loose chain, but it's not. It's actually the brake. How can I put it? So the brake on this, if you could imagine a big disc with slots cut in it, and all the brake is like a little fork that when you put the brake on, the fork shoots forward and it will locate inside the slots, which is sometimes when you put the brake on, you might get a few inches of movement, and basically it's just for the forks to line up with some of the slots in that disc, and then they'll click in, and that's what locks the brake. And then when you switch off, it's back out. So whether I've got a dodgy solenoid or a dodgy solenoid connection, so whether it's one of these up here, so I might, if it happens again, I might take this switch out first and just clean up the points on there. I think, as far as I know, they should be fine. These switches aren't that old. I replaced both of these not that long ago, less than 2 years ago. And they're like 50 quid a pop, these things. You don't want to do it too often. I do have a spare park brake switch. No, that's the hydraulic lock. I do have a spare one of those. It's actually tucked up in there. But yeah, if it's the other end, that's a bit more of a job, because all the drive and everything else is down behind inside there. That's seat up, possibly wheels off, side panel off, and then getting into the nuts and guts of the machine through the side. Bit more of a task, that is. So yeah, I know where it is, and it's something I could probably fix myself. But yeah, until you open it up, I don't know. So anyway, the problem seems to have disappeared again now. So maybe it was just a bit of stick or something, or maybe there's, maybe I should check the oil in the chain cases. Maybe there's lack of lubrication. No, there's nowhere for the oil to come out. But I suppose over a period of years, I mean, this machine's, what, 19 years old? Some of the oil may have dissipated away through weepage or whatever else. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. So anyway, the problem seems to have cured itself for a minute. So fingers crossed it stays that way.
I'm usually a bit more generous with this when I do like a 4 cube load. I'll probably deliver, well, more than that, usually 4.5, if not a tad more than that again. But this year it's so wet, I can't afford to be generous. And it's not because I'm tight, it's because, well, I'm overweight. I got the 5 on there. Watch me gap. One more. Yeah, I'm not going to get much more on there anyway. I'm not on the stops, all right? Close, but I'm not on the stops. I probably would be a bit nervous about taking that load much more than a mile away from home. But being as it is down the lanes. Very, very local. I think my chances of being stopped by the rozzers limited. So, and besides, you got to remember, it's a Defender, and Defenders carry weight badly, just badly. Why do they carry weight so badly, I hear you ask? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because, and actually I don't know if we're going to see it now, you can't see it now, it's hidden. It's because they're coil sprung all round. So whereas the old original Land Rovers, the series vehicles, were they had the McPherson coils on the front. Well, actually the really early ones were leaf springs all round, but the older vehicles were leaf sprung on the back. Leaf springs are much better at carrying weight, but they don't create a very smooth or comfy ride. And modern Defenders, because so many people were using them as Chelsea tractors, you know, they weren't being used as a works vehicle, they were literally being used as, look at me, I've got a Defender in the middle of a city. You know, they were never going to use it off-road, but that was where the market went. So Land Rover followed the market and made comfy suspension rather than sensible suspension. So if I could get a Defender, one of these, and I had a choice of coil springs on the back or leaf springs, I'd have the leaf springs. So, but to retrofit them, well, one, I'll devalue the vehicle, unfortunately, and two, it just costs too much. So you're still allowed to carry exactly the same amount of weight. It doesn't reduce the weight carrying capacity, it's just reduced the weight carrying capability. They're not as good at it. So, but there you go. That's my whinge. Are you going that way, are you? All right. That's because there's probably lunch, maybe chance of a nibble or something off the table. Right, just going to check my cattle first. So all my wood chip deliveries are done. Took a bit longer than anticipated because I had a chat with one of my neighbours, farming neighbour. We had some things in common, a couple of issues locally in common that we thought we'd have a chat about. So, and yeah, it's so I know I bang on about it a bit, but and you've heard it everywhere else. Farmers are struggling a bit at the minute with incomes. Okay, our potential, as in farmers' potential, to actually earn a living from farming, from producing the food you folks eat, is getting harder and harder. There are more and more rules, red tape, burning hoops to jump through, costs, expenses, interest rates, banking, you name it, all these things. So unless a farm is really, really, really well backed up with cash in the bank and can wear times like this, a lot of folks are really, really struggling. And it's something that I think I'm going to be going over and having a chat with Rich Cornock with on Saturday. We're going to record a video over there, and it's going to be basically about strains and stresses of this industry, including the mental health thing. Now, I don't really go all bang on about mental health too much because I don't think I suffer, but I'm a bit different to most farmers. I don't just rely on this to earn a living. We've got a tree company, I've got a wife that goes out to work, so we have other sources of income, and obviously that camera is helping it a bit as well. But yeah, lots of folks are really struggling. So, and we're trying to find, and the government is encouraging us, mind you, to find other ways to finance a living other than growing your food. Okay, they don't really want us to grow your food anymore. What they'd rather we did was plant trees and wildflowers and make it all pretty for the townies to come out and wander around and walk the dogs to crap everywhere. That's what they'd rather us do, and buy the food in cheap from abroad. Yeah, so keep all the prices right down for you lot.
so you can have your holidays and your fags and your booze and your luxuries and not spend it on food. So the problem is, what you're buying from abroad, a lot of it is rubbish. Not all of it. There is some stuff coming in, top quality, but a lot of it is rubbish. And if you knew what was in it and how it was made, you probably wouldn't. Especially the vegan tat. How on earth anybody could eat that rubbish? Anyway, so we're encouraged to find other ways to make the land pay. Now, for me, the idea was to open a little campsite and probably just 10 units, so because that's all we can support really, to help boost the income for the farm. But we've had loads and loads of objections from the neighbours who think it will absolutely ruin everything else, me having 10 caravans or tents or whatever else here. Ruin it. That's not true, not everybody. A lot of people in the town support it because obviously it'll bring a bit of income into town, to the pubs, the shops, stuff like that. But my neighbours, no, most don't want it. And my other neighbours, he's got a little project on again, he put in planning application for lots and lots of big objections from his neighbours. And I think, same as me, I had one neighbour come and talk to me and ask me what I was doing. And I took them out there and showed them. And once I showed them and told them what I was doing it and how I was doing it and why I was doing it and how I couldn't do any more, he basically said, I don't know what the fuss is about. Don't see the problem. And I think the same's happened with another neighbour. He's doing, got a little project on, and I think so many people have just jumped on it. Oh, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Not in my backyard, blah, blah, blah. And it's, they don't even ask. They just complain. Hang on, I've got to answer the phone. Anyway, the nub of the story, the short and the long of the short of whatever it is there is only so many things we can do to make use of the assets that we have to increase profitability or even make a living on the land. And if you've got a local farmer who's putting an application in something, and there's something, oh, don't like the sound of that, just go and ask. Just go and ask. Before you go and object to stuff, just ask, and you might actually find out that it's beneficial. It's a good thing. So, anyway, two of us, me and him, are both suffering the same problems with similar people, and yeah, we just thought we'd have a chat about it.